And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Oops, before I do that. Okay, just making sure my microphone's on. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Namaskar to all of you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's good to be with you all again here today. So important announcement is that tomorrow I will not be doing a New Earth TV Live. So I'm going to have Friday off, being the upcoming Christmas weekend. But next Friday, I will be back with another New Earth TV Live. And of course, I'll be back next Thursday as well, too, with another New Earth Tarot. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, just in case you're trying to tune in tomorrow and you don't see a New Earth TV Live. That's because I'm taking the day off tomorrow. But again, Friday after next will be the next New Earth TV Live. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off firstly with some announcements. Here we go. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing to detoxify, rejuvenate, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, I'm going to be returning back to private sessions in mid-January. So again, I have quite a few booked here for January, but January is still available, as well as the distance healing by donation, which is also available. So again, private sessions with tarot reading and higher self-communication. Same also with 3 questions by email, and the distance healing by donation is all available. You can check that out at newearthteachings.com. And some updates pertaining to Etherics. Like I said, if you guys are not familiar with Etherics, it is the brand new company that's going to be taking over the Healing Code cards and all the Healing Code technology, and basically referred to as Etherics. So the good news is between January 5th and January 10th, around that range, I'll be doing the early bird launch for Etherics. That includes the brand new ether beds. Okay. So as I've talked about in previous webcasts, giving a little bit of detail about the ether beds as well too, that they're kind of like the all-in-one technology. They're even more stronger, even more powerful than the Healing Code cards themselves. And this is going to be a very big benchmark technology, because this technology that I'm going to be unveiling with the ether beds is going to introduce other forms of, you could say, household technology, right? Just everything that you find around the house. Whether it comes to wallpaper, whether it comes to shower curtains, whether it comes to rugs or mats, whether it comes to yoga mats, apparel, accessories, all of these things are going to be Etherics, right? So there's going to be a lot of things that you're just going to be able to purchase through Etherics to basically transform your home into a healing center, right? That's the whole idea here. That's the whole nature of Etherics, is that everybody's home can be transformed into this living prana, etheric codes, that completely complement a living healing center for yourself. So that's the entire purpose of Etherics, is we're working with healing technology. We're working with transforming, whether you have an apartment, a basement suite, a condo, a home, being able to turn that into a living healing center. So when you have people over, they're getting the benefits as well too. That's the big goal for Etherics. And so I'm going to really be putting that together with my partner as we start off in January here. Just getting everything put together, getting the websites all together, because there will be 2 websites. One will be an information-based website, the other one will be the store. So that's being put together right now. But like I said, the Etherbed technology is, again, probably the most powerful of the technologies that I've developed so far, and it's going to be absolutely outstanding. So like I said, you won't want to leave your bed. So again, I'm going to have more updates for you guys as we get closer to the end of Christmas. And just before the start of the New Year's, before the start of New Year's Day, I'll get some more information for you guys about the exact date for the Etherics launch, somewhere right now between January 5th and January 10th. So we're going to have an early bird, which means a lot of the beds will be on sale. They'll be at a more lower price. So again, more details for that to come as we get closer to the end of Christmas and just before the new year. So I'm looking forward to starting off with 2023 with Etherics. It's going to be awesome. And moving on, everything on this YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey. So again, you can go to the video description. You can find this link, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings, and you can follow me there as well too. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's webcast with New Earth Tarot. So hello everybody, it's good to see you all once again. Glad to see everybody from all over the world just tuning in today. I know we're going to have some really great questions, so again, if you guys have any questions, make sure that your questions are semi-personal or general, please. Okay, very important. I know there may be a lot of personal questions, but that's of course where private sessions come in. So we'll just keep it semi-personal. If someone's asking, oh Brad, what does that mean? What does it mean when I'm asking a semi-personal question? It means it's something that's personal to you, but it's also something that benefits other people at the same time, right? So if something's personally happening to you, you're also sharing this because it will benefit other people at the same time. So that's kind of the semi-personal term altogether. All right. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to go to the chat now. And again, hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for being here today. So let me just scroll down the chat and see what we get. I think before I do that, let me go ahead and put on my magic glasses. I try to do this too much, but yeah, it's going to be a little too evasive with the camera. So there we go, putting on the magic glasses. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, I have one question here from Carol Ann. Carol Ann says, hi Brad, I have a question. What will happen to those that are on the Social Security when the new financial systems roll out? Okay, so let's take a look at that through the cards. So the question is, what will happen to those on Social Security? Other people can say income assistance or anything of that nature. What will happen to those people? So let's take a look at that. And I think we'll basically talk, I'd say maybe about most countries. I know we're not going to be able to talk about every single country regarding Social Security systems or income assistance systems, but basically for those countries that do use social assistance, Social Security, income assistance, what will happen with those when the new financial system comes online? So let's take a look at that, see what we get. Okay, so it's kind of a mixed energy here, but we'll kind of start off with the past right now. Of course, it's going to represent certain levels of change, right? People who are on Social Security, the feeling I'm getting that there will be maybe some increases that may take place, but I think when you're still on Social Security, if you're still getting income from the government and so forth like that, I do feel it will continue, okay? But at first it may seem kind of confusing, right? It may be a little bit of a confusing start. People may think that they're actually getting lots and lots of money off social assistance. I don't think you're going to be getting lots and lots of money. I think there will be increases, but I don't think it's as much as many people think, right? So like I said, people who are very much behind the idea of Nasera and Gesera, for example, right? The idea of prosperity funding. They just think, oh, I don't need to work. I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars from my family. No, I'm not seeing that. Now, basically, I feel like there will be an adjustment, okay? So there's going to be a heightening. There's going to be a lot more of financial assistance coming in for families, but I don't think it's going to be a great deal more, right? You're not going to make a 6K income, right? Or a six-figure income, I should say. A six-figure income just by being on welfare or social assistance or income assistance. There's going to be an increase. There's going to be a little bit more money coming in for those particular types of programs, but it's not going to be about the idea of you being a middle class or upper class because you're on social assistance, okay? So there will be improvements to it. It feels like there's going to be some new authority coming together and starting to create new regulations for it altogether for those on social assistance, Social Security, maybe even pensions and so forth. There will be a little bit more money coming in. But like I said, it's not going to be a crazy amount, right? So again, near future, I think people are still going to be somewhat confused about the idea of how it's going to work. But really how I'm seeing it all together is that There will be a raise. There will be more coming in, but it's still going to be, kind of your basic amount. I'm not trying to sound too much like the idea of what they've talked about with universal basic income, but it is going to be very much in that type of format, just not so much into the idea of, paying people so much, saying, okay, well, here's a six-figure income just for you to be on Social Security, right? I don't see that happening. But I think that there will definitely be a lot more of an increase pertaining to the finances that come together. So it'll be a lot more than what people are getting right now. But I think this is also kind of a transitional state. I think there's still some bugs to work out. I think there's still some screws that need to be tightened as well too. And I still think there needs to be some regulations put together with it. So I think it's still kind of a work in progress with that. But overall, this card really shows some good promise, right? This is representing the idea of things on the rise, of an opportunity of a little more income to come together for those who are on Social Security. So you're not just basically living with the crust of things. You're going to have a little bit more. It's not going to be a major amount, but it will definitely be a decent amount to help with people in living. Okay? So that's what I'm getting overall through the cards here, talking about social assistance. I'll look a little bit more into that through the higher self communication as well too. When you're looking at the nature of social assistance programs, when you're looking at the nature of Social Security, the idea of everything pertaining to that system is that it will represent a genuine increase, but there will be much more of a momentum and inertia that will come forward that will encourage people to dedicate themselves to work that are now much more in a state of cleanliness. There is much more of an equality that is coming upon the planet, and those that are capable of working and those who feel inspired to work will have the ability to work. The idea in that sense of feeling out of job because of low pay, or feeling that you cannot make an income because of the unreasonable states of wages, will be a thing of the past. So there will be a lot more people who will feel inspired to do what they feel they wish to do, because there will be much more of an equality representing the new financial systems that will be coming, taking its place from the idea of the old fiat currency, which was completely unstable and completely unequal. So therefore, watching that fading away, and those who decide to participate with working programs and working services will have much more of a dedication to doing so, as the idea of the services and the systems that accommodate them will be much more appropriate in regards to those who do want to express themselves in the ways of service that they wish, and will be accommodated appropriately through the nature of exchange that is moving itself into higher alignment to which is taking place as you move further into your next year. Thank you. Okay, so there's a little bit of an overview for that right there from the higher self. Okay, thank you again, Carol Ann, for your question. So let's go down the list here and see what else we got. Okay, actually I missed this question here. This one here is from Esther. Esther says, hello Brad, would you be kind to look at the Netherlands? Okay, would you be so kind as to look into the Netherlands? Okay, we will look into the Netherlands and see what we get here from the Netherlands. So let me go ahead and ask the tarot about that. How are things with the Netherlands right now? How is their momentum going? Okay. I would say the momentum for the people of the Netherlands. I won't focus too much on the government. We're just going to focus on how the people are in Netherlands. How is the momentum of energy for the people of the country of the Netherlands? Okay, let's see what we get. I think we've had too many governmental questions surrounding a country, so it's good to look more into the people, I think. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so it's kind of like there's positive momentum ahead, but there's still some rough tides at the same time. Okay, so like I said, I think we're seeing a lot of shifts. We're seeing a lot of rebalancing. We're seeing a lot of the tipping of the scales here, relating to authority, relating to, again, politics, leadership, finances. All of these things are basically switching. All these things are basically shifting altogether. So new opportunities for growth, new opportunities for change, right? That's basically what's taking place right now. There'll be a new opportunity for growth, new surprises ahead at the same time, but also at the same time, there's some rough changes that need to happen. There's some rough waters that the Netherlands still needs to go through, right? They still need to go through a lot of exposures. They still need to go through a lot of disclosures. There still needs to be some more data dumps that are coming that are causing hard times because, again, those that are truly desperate are hanging on for dear life and trying to maintain their power. But the whole idea is that a lot of it is being swept away. This is actually more of a good card pertaining to this question. The good news is a lot of those old forces, those old Cabal members in that sense, are being taken out. They're being taken out of the picture, but it's still a cleanup that's going on, right? 2022 still represents that. We're still here, even if it is just for a few more days, before we go into the year of reset. And like I said, the year of reset is still going to represent houses being cleaned, right? A big cleanup taking place behind the scenes. Still is going to be some challenges for people in that sense who really don't know what's going on. They feel, again, that everything is collapsing, that everything is falling apart. And in a way it is. The old systems are certainly falling apart. The old systems are certainly collapsing and basically falling to dust. But again, at the same time, something new is approaching. So again, it's kind of like the shift in between the seasons, right? So we're seeing the idea of fall time, where everything pertaining to the leaves of the tree is being wiped bare, and of course the cold winter, and then starting to move into the new blossoming of spring. And that's basically what's happening right now. There's rebirth, there's regrowth that is happening for the people in the Netherlands. They're basically, they have to see all this corruption. They have to see all this nasty stuff that's been happening behind the scenes for a very, very long time, so that they can grow from it, so that they can expand from it, okay? They have to see the cheats. They have to see the corrupt. They have to see exactly how these lawmakers have been bending the rules to serve themselves, thinking that they are above the law, right? So we have to see that exposed. As we see that exposed, there's cause for celebration. So I feel like the people in the Netherlands are going to be going through some big shifts, especially as we get through here in the next 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months, right? Where we're going to see some more exposures taking place of embargoes and old agendas that were trying to favor the few, right? So a lot of that is being weeded out. Just like I said, it's just a big garden. A lot of things are being pulled. The weeds are being pulled, but we have to go into the source of those weeds. I know it doesn't sound good when I say all these things about countries, about saying, well, sorry guys, there's still some hard times coming here for your particular country. But that's good news overall, because once we go through all this and we start cleaning it all up, this is never going to happen again, right? But unfortunately, there's times where we have to go through kind of the rough tides. We have to see some tidal waves of big change happening right now. Governments need to be completely and totally cleaned out, overhauled. Transitional government coming together in place, new financial system coming in place, new opportunities coming in place, and just watching this old system fall away, right? And we're really in the center of the storm right now. We're no longer looking at the storm on the horizon. It's well over our heads. It is raining down quite a bit, but it's also a storm of great change and a storm of great transformation. And I can say this also too with quite a lot of countries, right? Not just the Netherlands, but from everywhere, right? From the west to the east. So many countries are going through this incredible shift right now. And it's intense, and it seems chaotic. But like I said, a lot of it that you see on the mainstream media, even in alternative media, is a narrative, right? And a lot of that stuff is more so things that have happened, or extra spice, extra exaggeration on all of these things that are taking place, because a lot of these things have already happened. But they have to sanitize it and put it into this narrative spin to give the people. So overall, with Netherlands, it's still a little bit of a shakeup. There's still a bit of waves that are coming about with Netherlands, but it's being cleaned up. The good news is that cleanup is taking place. And when you notice that these leaders, that these political leaders, that these scarce few are trying to derive plans to make people more afraid, that's only showing you that they're losing their power at free fall speed. And so that's also giving the idea that change is becoming so incredibly rampant, they can't keep up with it all. They're losing everything, and they go from desperate people to using desperate measures. So again, all of this is going through a very big whirlwind of change. It needs to change in that way, not just for the Netherlands, but for everybody, right? For every particular country on this planet that has been affected by these agendas. They're going to be going through a whirlwind of change. And it's going to be intense. It's going to be quite insane, I would say, at times. But it needs to be this way, because we have to look at all these things that have been causing these whirlwinds. We have to be looking at all of this change that needs to take place so that we can therefore overhaul ourselves country to country and start moving in a much more positive and brighter direction, which we're moving into. Okay, but again, a lot of the house cleaning comes first. We're just grabbing the mops, we're grabbing the brooms, we're grabbing the vacuum cleaners, we're going inside this dusty old mansion with all kinds of cobwebs, and it looks really nasty, but we got lots of workers. Once we go in there and we start polishing everything up, this rundown old mansion is going to look like a palace. And that's what we're doing worldwide right now. We're turning a dilapidated, old, nasty mansion into a beautiful palace. And that's what needs to take place right now. It's a dirty job, but it's our job to take care of it. All right? Thank you very much for your question. Okay, let's go down the list here a bit more. All right. And again, hello everybody. Welcome everybody all around the world. Sweden, I got some people from local BC here as well too. From Washington, D.C., from Czech Republic, Massachusetts, Alberta, Toronto. Welcome, guys. Iran. Great to see you. Okay. So this one here is from Petra. Petra asked the question, will we see two suns physically in 2023 on firmament? There are some rumors. Well, it doesn't really work that way, guys. See, here's the idea here, is that we are part of a trinary star system. Okay, so we have our sun, okay, we have Sirius A, and we have Nibiru. Okay, so Nibiru is a brown dwarf star, much, much smaller than our own star. Sirius A is a much, much larger star than our own star. And we basically go through what's known as the progression of the yugas. Okay, this is referred to in yogic philosophy and Indian philosophy. And basically there are 4 yugas. You have Kali Yuga, you have Dwapara Yuga, you have Treta Yuga, and you have Sat Yuga. Okay? Right now we're in Dwapara Yuga. And we're starting to move very slowly into the next cycle, which will be Treta Yuga, which will be around 2082. Okay, so that's again all part of the proper calculations. So a lot of people who are miscalculating the idea of the yugas, thinking that we're still in Kali Yuga, and we're in Kali Yuga for hundreds of thousands of years. No, that's completely incorrect. That is a big, 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 horrifying miscalculation. Okay, so no, we are in Dwapara Yuga right now, and we're moving up into the ascent of the yugas. We're not in the descent of the yugas. Okay, so we're moving much more into the ascent of the yuga. Now this ascent altogether to the progression of our yuga, of our yugas altogether, all revolve around the star of Sirius A, okay? Adronis' home star, we could say. So we have this big, beautiful, bright star, Sirius A, and we are orbiting that particular star, which takes a great deal of time to do. And so basically, as we're part of a trinary star system, there are those in that sense who are saying that there's a second sun. Well, in a way there is. Saturn used to be our sun. There used to be the sun of Saturn well over 50,000 to about 75,000 years ago. A long time ago, Saturn was once a sun. So in that sense, it's true. We did have a second sun in the star system, and that was Saturn. Okay? But like I said, when we're looking at the idea of us being a trinary star system, you have our Earth sun, our solar system sun called Sol, right? You have Sirius A, and you have Nibiru. Okay, so from what I'm getting in that sense, Nibiru is not really in any form of orbit with us right now. The idea of second suns can actually be artificial spacecraft. Okay, as you guys may see through certain forms of NASA satellite images, you may actually see these gigantic planetary-sized craft, some of them even bigger than Jupiter, that will come out of the sun on certain occasions. Now they're not really suns. Okay, they're crafts. But from our perspective, because they have their own particular form of power source, they will appear as a second sun. Sometimes we can even see a third sun as well, too. It all just depends upon the size and the orbits of a lot of these vessels. And if they do appear, they appear very briefly, and then they basically put themselves into a pocket dimension. But no, we're part of a trinary star system. Okay, so Sol, Sirius A, and Nibiru represent that of a trinary star system to which we're a part of. But any other particular form of object that you may see around the sun would not be the idea of Sirius or Nibiru, but again, often through another form of celestial body that's there temporarily. And this could represent the idea of spacecraft or any other particular type of phenomenon. I've certainly seen videos of that where a person is zooming in the sun and they see like a smaller sun right next to it as well too. Well, that's basically what I'm talking about. There can be these gigantic planetary-sized spacecraft that can come right out of the sun, and they're enormous. They're huge, right? Some of them are even larger than Jupiter. And they can actually oppose themselves as a particular star for a certain amount of time and then disappear. So those are certain things that I can say. But there's a lot of phenomena that it can be relating to the idea of spacecraft and so forth. Okay? So that's the idea. But it's not the idea in that sense of having another sun just directly behind ours. Nibiru is at a much more distant course, as is Sirius A. We see that up in the night sky every single night. Okay? The brightest star in the sky is Sirius A. And that's the star that we orbit through the yugas, that goes through this long planetary revolution, or I'd say solar system revolution together, that represents the yugas that we go through. Okay? So that's what I can share about that. Thank you for your question. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Lucy McIntyre. Lucy says, after the downfall of the current financial system, will there be mass panic? And do we know when that will be? Okay. So when the current financial system falls, will there be a mass panic surrounding that? Okay. I pretty much already have the answer, but I'll let the cards take care of this question for you. So let's see what the cards say here. And of course, come January, I'm going to be inviting Janine back. Okay? So we're going to be doing another interview with Janine here sometime in January. So I'll be talking to her very soon and getting another webcast ready with her as well too. Okay, so let's look into the question about the idea of that when the financial system falls, is there going to be mass panic regarding that falling of the financial system? Okay, and do we know when that will be? Okay, so not really. Okay, so there really will not be that much of a panic in that sense. This is all part of, the stock market is plummeting, right? And this is what's causing people to be upset, is they're seeing the current transition right now between the falling of this fiat currency system, because they're looking at the stock markets and they're seeing how the stock market is not doing so good. They're investing in certain things to try and bail themselves out, and may not be too good either. But no, this is all part of a big plan that needs to happen. There is a takedown relating to the idea of the financial system, the current financial system, to replace it with a new one. But it's actually going to be quite harmonious. Okay, it's actually going to be kind of almost like a seamless transition. You won't really know what's happening. Okay? People who kind of dig deep may get an idea in that sense that this is taking place, that this is happening. But no, this is all part of being a very seamless transition from one financial system to another. Okay, it's going to be very, very transitory. It's going to be very, very seamless in regards to how it comes up. There will just be minute differences, but a lot of people aren't going to know until they start doing some deep research, right? So if you're kind of the deep researching type, you will know, okay, yeah, we're on the quantum financial system right now. I don't know if there's going to be some gigantic announcements about it. There might be, right? But it feels like there's a big seamless transition coming together, and this is kind of what this card is saying. People aren't really going to know that they're actually on the quantum financial system, because everything will still look very, very similar, right? You'll still be able to withdraw cash. You'll still be able to use your debit. You'll still be able to use your credit card. But just all these other things will be popping up. This could represent debt forgiveness. This could represent the idea of the abolishment of interest and all these different things. Just these things will start to roll themselves out as the quantum financial system slowly makes an appearance into the public eye. Okay, so people really don't know in that sense that something is changing. Okay, for the person in that sense who's quite oblivious to it, they won't even know. They'll still be able to go to their bank. They'll still be able to do all the things that they can do at their bank, but now they're noticing these things, of all these things starting to fall away. Right? So from the idea of interest payments, maybe even the idea of the abolishment of taxes as well, to say, what's going on? What's going on? Huh? Right? So that's kind of the confusion card. What's going on here? Why is this all happening? Why is this all taken care of? Oh, it's a quantum financial system. Okay? So it's kind of more of a seamless thing. So believe me, when you're seeing all those things fall away, you're not going to be upset about that. I think you're going to be quite happy. And again, it's all part of, again, new authority coming in, new transformation taking place with the entire financial market. So it is designed to be much more of a seamless transition when it comes between the fiat currency system that's falling away and the new quantum financial system that's coming together. But like I said, I've always said that there's financial systems, right? We're looking at new systems coming together. It's not just one. It's the idea of many different systems coming together, but they all function under the one umbrella. Okay? But you have many different options here. So can we expect when to know when this is happening? What's happening right now, right? This is exactly what I've told you. Like Janine and I were also suggesting this to everybody, was that you go to your bank and you start talking to them saying, are you guys ready for a quantum financial system rollout? Do you have all the stuff you need to get a quantum financial system rollout? I've had a few people report back to me, and they've told me that their banks are ready for a quantum financial system rollout. Okay, they've already got all the stuff in place. Okay, so it's just a matter of the right timing. When do I feel that'll happen? Well, sometime in 2023. It feels most likely in 2023 that will happen, because I've done readings on this before, and it feels like moving into 2023, I'd say maybe the first half, that we may start to see the peak time of that quantum financial system rolling out. This again is why it's the year of reset. It's actually the ideal year for the quantum financial system to start peeking itself to the curtain. Okay, so sometime in 2023 would be my answer to that in regards to how things are right now. Just the momentum ahead. Okay, thank you, Lissy. Okay. Okay, here's one from Anna. Anna says, hello, can we get an update about the situation in Ukraine war, please? When will it end and start rebuilding? Okay, so let's take a look at the current situation between Russia and the Ukraine right now. What is the current situation? Okay, so again, the media has not really talked too much about what is really going on. Okay, there's been a lot of hush-hush and silence about what's really taking place. Really, I could say that that war with the Ukraine is pretty much finished. Okay, it's pretty much over now. So the idea of rebuilding, reconstruction, getting things together, sanitizing everything, overhauling things, it's basically what this card is representing. This is representing the present moment. Okay, so there's already rebuilding. It's pretty much finished now. It's pretty much all done. Okay. But of course, like I said, the media has really made it into something horrific, that Russia's a bully, and that all of this horrific war is continuing, but that would basically be a lie. Okay, a lot of it has already been sanitized, a lot of it has already been taken care of, and a lot of people are, again, still heavily worried. This is also what this card represents. People are very worried and scared for the Ukraine about what's happening. They feel like they've been victimized by a bully, but that's not what's been happening. The entire underground of the Ukraine is being completely swept clean. And I feel like they've already succeeded. I think that they've already done it. And so they're basically going in and they're cleaning out a lot of this right now. So this is again representing the counter forces, the allied forces, so to speak, that's going in, and they're starting to just do some more cleaning up of the Ukraine as well too. Technically, Ukraine belongs to Russia. It is basically Russian land. Okay, so this is exactly what's happening right now. Is they're going in and they're cleaning out a lot of this old debris. A lot of things have been swept clean, right? So maybe even going into some laboratories, cleaning them out, rescuing children from underground vaults, going into underground bases and cleaning them out as well too. And it looks like some light is going to be shed here on the Ukraine situation here very soon. I don't know if it's going to be MSM, of course, but there is going to be some organic information coming about pertaining to the Ukraine, how everything's being swept clean. And there may be a report in regards to some of the results of this cleanliness that's being taken place through the Ukraine. But really what I can say is that the fighting is pretty much over right now. If there's a little bit left, it's a very small percentage. But I'd say overall the job has already been done with cleaning up much of the underground pertaining to the Ukraine, right? Like I said, guys, this is not about bullying the citizens of the Ukraine whatsoever. This is all about sweeping away the remnants of corrupt in the Ukraine, because that is a nest. That is formerly Khazaria. Okay, That whole underground right there has been kept under good people's feet for a very, very long time. And this is exactly why it's come out in this way. As much as a lot of the counterforces would love to say exactly what's going on, there still needs to be this type of narrative that's being played out. Because again, greed is what controls the narrative. Greed is what controls the MSM. And so a lot of what is actually happening there has not been shared in any form of mainstream broadcast, as it would not really. But again, a lot of things have been swept out. And so Ukraine is going to be rebuilt. It is certainly going to be rebuilt into something a lot more, you could say, ethical, a lot more in a state of cleanliness that is moving much more with these new systems that are coming together. So it's under new management. I'd say that's the best way to put it. Being under new management, being under new administration, new leadership coming together, and moving it in a much more prosperous direction. But again, all of this cleaning out has needed to take place for the Ukraine. But it's pretty much finished right now. I'd say at least 95% finished right now. If there's a little bit left, that might be possible. But the majority of it is certainly cleaned out. Okay, that's what I'm getting from the cards. Thank you, Anna. Okay. So this is a healing code cards question. This one here is from Francine. Regarding this sleep purifier card, when to use it? Well, I don't know if there's a sleep purifier card. I think there's I'm not sure if you're referring to the energy deck. Maybe that's the one you're referring to. Sleep purifier card, when to use it? During the night or during the day to enhance better sleep? Let me just take a moment here, guys. Hold on a second. I think you're talking about the energy deck here. But let me just double check. I have so many cards, I try to keep up with all the ones that I have. So let's take a look here. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. The sleep purifier card in the energy deck. I was thinking of the mind deck for a second. The lucid dreaming card. Yes, the sleep purifier card, you want to take that one just before you're going to sleep. Okay, so what I would suggest is meditating on that card for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so just put it on your chest. Lay down on your bed, put the card on your chest, put an amplifier behind it if you want to, and just lay down and just be with the card. Just let it bond with you, right? Let the prana flow through your body. Let the cells, again, take in all of that prana so your body starts moving into that kind of sleep time, right? Where you're basically just getting a very sound sleep. The sleep purifier in the energy deck is designed to work in harmonizing the body, getting into a deep sleep so you sleep really, really well. You could even have vivid dreams as well, too. So I'd say just rest it 10 to 15 minutes before you go to sleep and just put it right under your pillow, okay? And that can work very, very well, okay? Or if you just want to go to sleep on it on your chest, you can do that as well too. So in the energy deck, yes, there's a sleep purifier. In the mind deck, there's also a lucid dream stabilizer. Okay, that also works with lucid dreaming, and that also helps you get a restful night's sleep too. Okay, so you can use that as well too. The lucid dream stabilizer in the mind deck and the sleep purifier in the energy deck. You can use them together. Okay, thank you, Francine. Okay, this one here is from Raul. Hello, when you are in the other side, how do you know that you are there? Because reports say sometimes lost souls. Okay, I think I've talked about this a little bit in the past as well too. Now, we can't really give generic information to this row because everybody's different, okay? Not everybody is going to really know what's happening to them when they decide to leave their body, right? When the time comes for you to experience physical death, for the body to perish, I can't really give you guys a generic example about what's happening with that person. It's just impossible. We can't do it, okay? Yeah, there's an infinite amount of outcomes pertaining to that person. But the example in that sense would be that when a person is deceased, they will often, at some particular point, see their body, right? They may actually think they're dreaming, or they may think that they're still living life in that way, because their mind is still appropriated to physical reality. This is what happens to some people. Again, I can't outline it generically, but it can happen to some people where they leave because they're so accustomed to living a physical life. And when they leave their physical body, their astral body will still create some type of physicalized like realm, because that is, again, what they are acclimatized to. They're acclimatized and they're accustomed to living in a type of physical realm. So they'll still see their surroundings just as if they were still living in the body, because that's what they're used to. But when they actually start seeing their body right there, and you're like waving at it, and you're so this is my body, what's going on? It's stiff. Oh my God, did I die? Right? And then as soon as you get that thought, then that's where things can start becoming a little bit more fluidic. And you may notice that you may have guides, you may have helpers coming in to assist you, because that's all it is. It's just, I would say, just call upon your angels, right? If you basically have perished and you're very confused and you're very distraught, say just take a moment just to center and call in your angels to collect you. Okay, that's all you got to do, right? It's one of the simplest ways to do it. But again, we're looking at an infinite amount of outcomes here relating to someone who has left their body, left their physical body. Now they're in their astral transient body, and they're still manifesting their world to give the impression as if they're still living in their physical reality. They could go walk down the street. Everything still looks the same, right? But now they're noticing that they're not able to talk to other people. Other people who are the living, in that sense, who are still in their living bodies, aren't able to recognize them. Some will even try to find mediums. They will try to go to psychics, and they will try to get the psychic's attention, because they can basically get an impression. Often the psychic will have light around them. Okay? So there will be kind of a light intelligence around that psychic. And they're told that's exactly what you look for. Seek the light, seek the light. And so when you have psychic mediums that are very, very gifted with talking to the disembodied, these psychics will appear as having the light upon them. And so these disembodied ones will go and they will seek out that psychics like a moth to a flame. And then they will start talking to them, right? Depending on the psychic, of course. And then they may get these messages. Sometimes it may come together as thoughts, sometimes it may come together as dreams or visions or anything of that nature, because they will want to try and pass a message from the psychic over to a loved one, right? It all depends. There's so many different outcomes that we could explore, okay? But right, about the idea of lost souls, I mean, really, your soul's not lost. It's you that's in confusion, okay? There's really no such thing as a lost soul. The soul does not experience physical life, guys, okay? Your soul does not experience this, okay? Your soul is the eternal watcher, okay? It's kind of like the symbol that you see behind me here with the goddess, okay? Let's imagine that's a honeycomb, okay? Inside this honeycomb are an infinite amount of cells, and they all represent different lifetimes for you. Well, your soul is simply in the center, observing those lifetimes. The soul does not physically encounter the body, okay? This is all part of an extension. This is all part of a vessel. This is a terminal, right? It's a terminal that is receiving non-localized transmission, okay? So it's a source, okay? Your soul, your spirit, your very intelligence is that source. And all it is just a remote body here, functioning as a terminal, experiencing this lifetime to which the soul is observing. But your soul does not exist in the body, okay? Your soul does not experience physical reality, does not experience physical life, does not experience this body, okay? It's witnessing everything. So yes, you are your soul, but your soul does not exist in the body whatsoever. This is why there's no such thing as lost souls. Okay, it's just an old, shabby kind of term relating to someone who's confused and ignorant. Okay, so I would refer to it much more as ignorant, disembodied. Okay, or someone in that sense who's confused, a confused, disembodied one. Okay, they do not know that they are God. They do not know that they are spirit. They do not know that they are aware. They do not know that they are pure consciousness. So they will wander because they're trying to look through the outside world to find answers, and that's not where the answers are. So again, we can't really put this into a generic term for everybody to understand, because everybody has a different experience when they leave their body. Okay, but like I said, one of the best things for you to do is just be still, call your angels. Call your angels to come and collect you. That's all you got to do, right? Even if you're feeling too apprehensive about going into the light, which I say is actually a good thing, right? But if you're still apprehensive about that, just sit still, call out to your angels, have your angels come and collect you. Okay? Best thing you can do. All right? Thank you, Rao. Okay, so back to a financial question here. Denise says, hi, Brad, will the pension age be lowered with the new financial system? Okay, so will pension be lowered with the new financial system? Well, I don't think I need the cards for this, because that would basically contradict everything that I shared earlier. Okay, no, things are not going to be lowered, they're going to be raised. Okay, so just like the reading I did earlier, where we're looking into the idea of the Page of Wands, where we're seeing that rise coming together, that relates not just to Social Security, that relates to pensions as well too, okay? So there will be things on the rise. But like I said, before all this can happen, we have to get all this muck out of the way. We have to get all this debris out of the way first that is causing confusion and causing the idea of people to think that the fiat currency system is still continuing. It's meant to plummet, right? It's basically the idea that it's the final nail in the coffin so that that system can fall away and a new system can take its place. This is why we have the Lover's card as well too. It's a seamless transition. But it actually looks like things are going to be much more on the rise, pertaining to pension, pertaining to income assistance, Social Security, and so forth. There's going to be more of a payout of those. But like I said, you're not going to get rich off having a security income assistance or Social Security or a pension that way. You'll get more, but it's not something in that sense where you're going to be completely rolling in the dough, right? A lot of people think that. People think that they get really, really attached to this Nasera Gesera stuff, and they think that they're getting millions of dollars. We're going to get millions of dollars. No, I'm sorry to tell you guys, you're not going to get millions of dollars. Okay? You'll get a bit more of a hike. You'll get much more of an increase, but it's not going to be the point to where I'm just going to live off money for the rest of my life and I don't have to do anything. That's wishful thinking, guys. No. You're going to have an increase, but you're still, it gives you the basic needs that you require, right? It's like I said, it's kind of like the universal basic income, but not in a corrupt way. It's looking in that sense that you will be provided for. You'll get the basic stuff and coverage that you need to be all right, but like I said, it's not giving you a millionaire status or anything like that nature, okay? So an increase, yes. I don't really have that much information from that, guys, other than we have to kind of let things flow as they need to a little bit more to give much more of an impression about what's to come, okay? These things are still kind of waiting in the wings for them to debut, okay? But from what I got from the reading earlier, that's how things are looking. Okay. So this one here is from Darling. Darling says, Australia has come out and said that all vehicles in Canada must be AU. I'm not sure if you mean Australia, because now you're talking about Canada. AU has come out and said that all vehicles in Canada must be electric by 2035. Okay, California has said the same thing. All right, so the state of California is also doing the same thing. All right, so will that be happening? Will all vehicles in Canada be moving into electrical vehicles by 2035? Is that the plan? Is that the plan? Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, that's what they want, but that's not really what's going to be happening. Okay, it's going to be a different kind of rollout that we're still not aware of yet. Okay, so that is certainly the old plan that they have had, right? They've been trying to push that, right? Just so that if gasoline fails, then a lot of these oligarchs can just start to, savor the idea of having money from electrical cars. But that's not the plan. Okay, that certainly was what they were trying to spin, but that is nothing but an illusion. Okay, so that's an illusionary plan. It's not something that's going to come together. There's going to be some radical shifts in new technology that is going to take care of a lot of these things. So there's a lot of new inventions, a lot of new technology that's looking to be birthed here, right? A lot of things are going to be rolling out here very, very soon. So a lot of the oligarchs and a lot of the old controllers that wanted that are not going to be able to get what they want, okay? It's going to be some changes. There's going to be some shifts in the idea of transportation. But it's not the idea. It's no more different than what they were planning to do with Agenda 21, okay, or Agenda 2030. That's basically a similar plan to what they were trying to do with electrical cars, okay. So, okay, everything's electrical. We can even control your vehicle. We can shut off things when we need to in that sense. It's the same thing with us having our own digital currency system. We can take money away. We can control that. It was all part of big control agendas. But like I said, they're falling away. And those are illusions. Those are not the cases anymore, okay? So there's going to be some new inventions. There's going to be some new technologies. Maybe we're looking at something with hydrogen. Maybe we're looking at something with salt water. Maybe we're seeing some other new forms of energetic systems that will come into travel, that will come to transportation, okay? But looks like everything's being sanitized here. This is the near future card, okay? Looks like things are being sanitized. Again, I don't think we'll be running on gasoline either, but some new systems that will be coming together that will basically blow away gasoline and electrical. that may be coming here. So whether it's hydrogen cars or saltwater cars or anything of that nature, some form of new technology is looking to debut, and that will be the significator of letting everybody know that these whole plans of what they're trying to do, of getting all these electrical cars in 2035 to come out, which would not be good in any way, especially when they could control their vehicle and shut it down in any way that they see fit. Okay, it's just all part of these old digital agendas that are being scrapped right now. So I know I've heard about that too with California trying to get electrical cars by 2035. That won't happen either. These are just all part of different agendas. They're just commingling with the idea of Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, but they're all being scrapped. So no, I don't see that happening at all. Okay, thank you for your question, darling. Okay. Oh, I guess when you said AU, you're referring to Trudeau. Okay, I see what you mean. Thank you. Okay, well, remember, guys, that's not Trudeau. Okay, that's his avatar. That's his doppelganger. That is not Castro. Okay, he's out of the picture now. He's completely gone. So anything that's coming through that squawk box avatar is not him. He's not the OG. Okay, this is somebody. This is again just an actor, a doppelganger that they have, and there's a couple of them as well too. It's just all part of an old narrative. Guys, don't trust what you hear in an old narrative, okay? The narrative, the three-ring circus that you're hearing on the television, the newspaper, the radio, the internet, right? Throw it all away. None of that is legit. It's just part of a status quo. It's nothing but a soap opera, okay? So don't fall for it. Okay. Okay, let me just go down the list here. We're going to probably take a couple more questions, so we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. So I'm just going to go down and see what other good ones are here. Okay, so guys, I've already talked about facial recognition technology last week. Okay, so you can look into that. Last week's Neuro Tarot, we looked into that and elaborated on it. Okay. A lot of the stuff that they're putting out, this is the whole idea, guys, is that you're hearing a lot of threats. But remember, like I said, all this stuff needs to be brought out on the table so that you can give it your own personal stamp and saying no thank you and then throwing it off the table. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, guys, you're going to hear thousands and thousands of reports of all kinds of nasty stuff. And then you guys get worried. And then you get all choked up about it. I think, oh my God, Brad, is this happening? Is this happening? Guys, it's like I said, all this stuff needs to come onto the table so that you can take your stamp and say, denied, 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 denied. Don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. And just stick with that decision. When you look at something pertaining to facial recognition software, when you're looking at things that represent the idea of electrical cars looking to come out in 2035, when you're seeing all these different things that you know you do not agree with, let them be, let them go. Right? And don't give them another thought. Say, nope, not in my world. Not in my world is it happening. Not in my reality is this taking place. And I'm saying no to it. Believe me, you're not alone. You have hundreds of thousands, you have millions of other people who are all saying no. But this needs to be exposed in the form of the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is acting as a type of sanitized data dump. Okay, that's what the narrative is. Behind all of its BS, it's really just showing you all these things that are being put on the table so that you can say no to it. Okay? Facial recognition software, electrical cars, agendas on viruses, and so on and so forth. Just say no to it. Let it go. After that's done, I've already given my piece to it. I've already said, no, this is not what I want in my world, and I'm sticking to that, and it will happen. Okay? What makes the change is that thought to change. And as we have all these thoughts about saying, no, we're not doing that, we're not doing that, we're not doing that, we have that coming in by the millions and by the billions. That makes a difference. This is all part of the field, everybody. Okay? Your thoughts are the ripples that escalate themselves through the etheric field. Okay? It's all of those ripples that are saying that as these thoughts are finding common ground and they're all magnetizing themselves through the ethers, this is what's going to bring about the transformation of new timelines that are going to come together on the planet. So rather than panicking and concerning about all these things, already make your decision. I've said no, I'm not having this in my world, and that is that. This is what I want to see instead. And so I'm going to focus more on that. I'm going to focus on having cooperative neighborhoods, of creating community gardens. I'm going to get to know my neighbors. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to work together with my soul tribe. These are the things that I want to bring into my life. There you go. Okay? You getting worked up about all these thousands of different articles that you hear from the grapevine of the mighty internet is only bringing you fear. And that's not going to resolve your stress. It's not going to resolve your emotional problems. Okay? The only way that you're going to resolve that is to deal with it, is to surrender, is to let it go, and now focus on what you do want to bring in your life. Okay? Because that has power. I would not be mentioning it to you guys if it did not have power. Okay? So again, a lot of scarcity articles are all over the place. A lot of scary news articles and news media is all over the place. There's no shortage of that stuff. But as long as you guys get worked up, you're hooked, right? You've been caught. Okay? Now you're being puppeted because you're in fear about these things. So this is again what we're learning to let go of. Move into the alignment of you honoring what you want to bring into your life. When you say something is out of your world, make it happen. Surrender, release, let it go. And now bring into this world what you really do want to have happen. Working with your soul tribes, doing these wonderful things that benefit your life, rather than concerning about every little scarcity article you see online, or on your newspaper, on your television, and so forth. That's what we're learning to get past, all right? Okay. So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just going down the list. And thank you, Demi, for the Christmas wish. That's nice of you. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Zay Drama Lama. It's not really a question, but it's a comment. Can't remember who said it, but apparently the dark cats are out of money. So all they have left is fear-mongering to get that last bit of loot before we ultimately win. Well, they're not really out of money. They're basically out of control. Okay? They still have access to money, but the whole idea is they cannot use that money that they have to curry their favor anymore, right? Nobody wants to take their fake money. Nobody wants to take their monopoly money, their Mickey Mouse money, right? So they do have access to certain resources, but nobody wants to do business with them anymore. Countries are closing their doors on them, and that's why they're in a panic. Okay? It's not about these guys being beggars, being broke, and having nothing in their pockets. They do. They still have a lot of connections to a lot of different resources, but a lot of countries are kind of sniffing them out and saying, okay, we know what these guys are. We don't want to do business with them. We're cutting the cords. We're cutting the ties. Okay? That's what's happening. Okay? These are not beggars on the street. They have all kinds of resources. Okay? But they don't want, they're just not being allowed to do business with any other country. Everybody's shutting the door on them right now. And that's why they panic. And they try and create these agendas, or they try and create false flag events. They try to use the mainstream media because they're still able to buy them out to try and peddle their petty agendas. People are now starting to see through it, just as many different countries and leaders of those countries are shutting the doors and closing them and locking them so that these thieves do not come into these countries and start stealing everything. Right? So they're being shut out, and that's what's happening. Every country around the planet more and more is shutting the door on these goons. That's what's taking place. So it has nothing to do with them running out of money. That would be an ignorant response. Okay? They got plenty of resources, but nobody wants their stuff because they know what they're all about now. This is all part of a greater awakening, guys. You're being a lot more discerning to what these type of people represent. You're seeing how they play their sales pitches. You see how they manipulate all these world leaders. You see how they manipulate politicians. You see how they manipulate finances. You see how they manipulate all of the systems that mankind has created so that they can curry their favor. And people are recognizing this right now through their own discernment and letting go of their ignorance to realize, okay, this is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to curry favor. They're trying to corrupt everything. They're trying to pollute everything again. No, we're shutting the door on them. You guys have to do the same thing. You have to do the same thing. You got to shut your doors. You got to lock up your door so that they have no opportunity of trying to come in. And they come in through your television. They come in through your internet. They come in through your neighbors blabbing about how afraid they are of the money crisis and the agenda situation. That's how they come in. They come in through the mind. Okay? It's not about a SWAT team breaking into your house and feeling, yep, you got to obey the government. It's not about that. This is psychological warfare, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And so as many other countries are shutting the doors in their face, you have to do the same. You choose not to participate with any of these things that represent these agendas. Otherwise, you can just stay there and get more and more into fear and just be in an absolute panic, and nothing can bring you into any form of peace. Because you're just constantly, like a drug addict, looking at all these things online, thinking that all these things are going to happen, and oh my God, we're all doomed, and blah, 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 blah. But tons of people like that. Okay? And I basically tell them, you guys have to rethink about what you're doing with your life, because this is becoming a drug. This is becoming an addiction for you. And you need to look at that and learn to let these things go. And start moving into life and start looking into all these things that you really know you want to experience in life. Rather than filling yourself with polluted fears all the time based on what you're getting through the narrative and what you're getting through the internet and all that stuff. Like I said, guys, 90 to 95% of the stuff you see on the internet is complete and total BS. Okay? And you have to be discerning about that. You have to know when to shut the door and start listening to what's in here, because this is the only truth you're ever going to get. All right? Okay, guys, we're out of time for today. I think we'll take one more question here with Sensei, and then we'll wrap up. Sensei says, hi, Brad, what does Spirit think of the light org called TLS, so-called secret org that have supernatural power working for humanity? We have looked into that before. Okay, we really cannot elaborate on that, right? There's some of this. It's somebody that asked Janine a similar question about the idea of these other particular forms of Freemasons in that sense, or secret societies of the light in that sense. We really cannot comment on that right now, okay? Yes, those particular types of organizations exist, but what makes them what they are is that they work in clandestinity, okay? They have to have clandestine approaches. We really cannot work on that. So Sensei, I will confirm that those particular types of groups exist. We really can't look into them though, okay? It's very, very secret. They have to stay hidden because a lot of what they're doing is all part of helping the collective out, okay? A lot of these people that are in those groups are not even of this world, okay? But I cannot elaborate on that because it's all about respecting the clandestine nature of these groups. But a lot of them aren't even human, okay? A lot of them are off-worlders. A lot of them, again, exist in higher dimensions, working on a much more higher celestial level to working together with these particular proxies on the planet, and they're doing certain tasks that we really can't talk about, okay? So in that way, that's the best way I can elaborate on it. But yes, you're on track with that. You're very correct about those things, okay? Thank you guys for being with me today for New Earth Tarot. So again, I do not have a broadcast tomorrow. I'm taking Friday off because it's the weekend of Christmas. So I'm going to have a little bit of downtime. But again, I'll be back next Thursday and next Friday for the webcasts for New Earth Tarot and New Earth TV Live next Friday. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much. I'll see if I can get some videos out here in the next little while too. And stay in touch with more information on Etherics. It's going to be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to rolling Etherics out, the ether beds for you guys, and a lot of other great inventions to come. Take care, everybody. Blessings to you all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar. And may it be well with you. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.